In today's Final Touch, waves ripple out from a dark fin from a tank in downtown Shanghai.
But it's not a normal shark tank, nor your normal shark. Robo-Shark's fins, tail, and sleek body are built to mimic a real shark by harnessing the design of the ocean's top predator. Robo-Sea, a Chinese underwater drone manufacturer, is hoping to dominate the growing market of swimming, floating, and diving robots. Robo-Sea is also targeting a mass market smaller and more colorful robots that can help divers and snorkelers take underwater selfies. That's a drone of a different color.
Yes.
That's our time for now. News 3 at 5 starts right now.
The school district has received a nearly $1 million school safety grant. We'll tell you what the money will be used for.
Plus, the president has signed an executive order to keep families together at the southern border.
And a new Marquette Law School poll has been released. We'll tell you what voters think about the Democratic candidates for Wisconsin governor.
This is News 3 at 5.
But first at 5, breaking news out of Columbia County. Officials say within the last hour they have found the body of the missing teenager who is believed to have drowned in Silver Lake.
Our Jamie Perez is live from that lake in Portage with the very latest. Jamie.
That's right. Well, we got word on this just moments ago, and you can actually see dive teams are packing up here behind me. But the search for that missing 13-year-old boy who went missing on Sunday here at Silver Lake is now over. Now, they found him just about 50 yards here from the shoreline that you can see right here. 13-year-old Sean Wolfarth has been located. Now, we did just talk to crews on scene who have been rigorously searching for him for the past 4 days. They've been out here searching with sonar, a K-9 crew, and family have been on standby this entire time. Now, obviously, this is a very tough job to try to find this boy. They say that this search in particular has been emotional and difficult.
This was an incredibly tough search. The lake is very deep in the middle, but between the shoreline and the deep channel, there is a very thick weed bed, which was very difficult to scan with sonar and very difficult for the divers to move through.
Now, what we do know from the past several days of this search was that when Sean went missing, he was here with his family. There were lifeguards here on scene, but he was swimming in an inner tube and went out of the designated swimming area, so lifeguards could not get to him when he floated away. We were here on scene when the divers told the family what had happened. We did catch them on camera hugging and sharing this emotionally devastating trauma. We'll bring you some more information on this coming up tonight at 6. For now, back to you in studio.
All right, Jamie Perez live in your Portage. Thank you.
Jamie, thank you. 19 more schools and school districts are receiving grants to make building safety improvements and to train teachers how to deal with violent situations.
Madison was awarded the most money today, almost $1 million, and they know exactly where the money will be spent. Amanda Quintana is here with their plans to make each of the almost 50 schools safer from intruders.
Yes, well, it's pretty simple what they want. They want all the doors to get into the school and to get into any classroom to lock automatically. Attorney General Brad Schimel wants every school in the state to have the same baseline safety procedures, a single secure entrance with shatterproof glass and classroom doors that lock.
Over the last decade, the conversation about school safety has changed. With each tragedy, another lesson is learned.
At Sandy Hook, the only classrooms that the shooter even spent any time on were the ones that weren't locked. We also know from the front entrance of Sandy Hook, they had a secured entrance. You had to be buzzed in, but it was very simple for the shooter to just shoot out the glass.
To make sure all Wisconsin students are protected, the Department of Justice is giving out $100 million in grants for safety improvements. Today, adding 19 schools to the list of 21 schools already awarded.
The way we would most likely set it up would be that the doors would always be locked. So the only way to gain access would be a key fob or an ID that you'd swipe past the door, and it would temporarily unlock and allow you in.
The Madison Metropolitan School District plans to use their $993,000 grant to upgrade the interior lock systems in their schools. Many have doors that don't lock from the inside, so teachers must go into the hallway and use a standard key, leaving room for human error, especially if a key is lost. But with so many schools, not all will be able to benefit from this money.
When you break that down to 50 schools, you're only talking $20,000 a building. In some of these cases, significant upgrades to doors, sometimes even replacing doors, you can be talking $1,000 to $2,000 a door.
The current plan is to start with the high schools, covering a third of the district's students, but the end goal to get interior door hardware and monitors in all Madison schools. And Attorney General Brad Schimmel says these grants are just the beginning.
It's also about being able to identify problems earlier, start addressing them.
All of the schools awarded grants are required to strengthen their mental health response by training staff in adverse child experiences and trauma-informed care before the end of this next school year. The Attorney General also mentioned a director of the Office of School Safety has been hired, and they really want to focus on things like cybersecurity and drugs and how those really affect the safety of students as well.
Thanks, Amanda.
President Donald Trump has signed an executive order to keep families together at the southern border. The president says he doesn't like the sight of children being separated from their families. He added the zero-tolerance policy will continue. Under that policy, more than 2,300 children have been separated from their parents since May. Vice President Mike Pence added that they are calling upon Congress to change the laws. Trump has been trying to win over congressional support on immigration amid a crisis along the border involving the separation of immigrant children from their families.
I didn't like the sight or the feeling of families being separated. There's a problem that's gone on for many years, as you know, through many administrations, and we're working very hard on immigration. It's been just left out in the cold.
The House is slated to vote on a pair of wider immigration bills Thursday, both of which the president is said to support. And right now, President Trump just landed in Duluth, Minnesota. Here's a live look at his arrival. The president plans on attending a roundtable discussion on mining and trade, followed by an evening rally. This will be the president's first trip to Duluth in at least 3 years.
Let's get a first look at the weather now. Karen Swanson is in the Weather Center. Karen?
Hi there. We're watching more rain on the radar map right now. There are some stronger thunderstorms over into east central Iowa, and they have formed a bit of a line, so watching for some possible wind threat in that direction. These are slightly weakening as they're heading towards southern Wisconsin, but still getting into that possibility of some showers and thunderstorms as we head through this evening, some flashes of lightning, and we could have some heavier downpours of rain as well. There's that severe thunderstorm warning into the east central part of Iowa. That's in effect for about another 10 minutes until 5:15, and this is all part of a cluster of storms that's been kind of rotating right around an area of low pressure in Iowa, and that's going to slowly make its way to the east over the next couple of days. So we'll have to contend with some wet weather chances for tonight, tomorrow, as well as into the day on Friday. Temperatures right now are in the 60s and 70s across southern Wisconsin. We're at 72 degrees here in Madison, 73 in Janesville, 71 degrees in Wisconsin Dells. Our temperatures this evening will be falling through the 60s. We'll see showers and some thunderstorms developing. Then tomorrow, still some scattered showers or an isolated thunderstorm. Highs tomorrow should be up near 70 degrees. It looks like we'll keep the cool and wet weather around for the rest of the week, but we'll talk about when to expect some sunshine coming up in a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Karen. State prosecutors are asking for a lengthy confinement for a former UW-Madison student who pleaded guilty to 5 felonies in connection with multiple sexual assault charges against multiple women. Alec Cook pleaded guilty in February to 5 of the 23 charges against him. Court documents show state prosecutors specifically asked the judge to sentence Cook to 19 years, 6 months in prison, followed by 20 years of extended supervision. Prosecutors say the number and seriousness of Cook's crimes merit a significant punishment. Prosecutors say he spent his time in Madison living only for himself and to satisfy his twisted and selfish sexual desires. Women were instrumental in satisfying his wants, but their humanity was irrelevant. He enjoyed it when they did not. That is what prosecutors said. Cook's parents asked the judge to give their son a chance at redemption. Several victims sent letters to the Dane County County judge ahead of Cook's sentencing tomorrow, and Cook's lawyers also submitted a sentencing memo. They said they would be making their recommendation at tomorrow's hearing. An Oshkosh woman is facing a charge for acting as the getaway driver for 2 inmates who escaped from a prison north of Oshkosh earlier this week. The Dane County Sheriff's Office said 31-year-old Leslie McCullough was arrested last night on suspicion of aiding a felon. 27-year-old James Heather and 35-year-old Alexander Wyman escaped from the Winnebago Correctional Center Monday. Deputies say they stopped a vehicle on County Road Y in the town of Mazomanie around 6:40. During the stop, deputies arrested Heather and Wyman in the vehicle, and McCullough was driving. All 3 individuals were booked into the Dane County Jail. A silver alert has been expanded for a 70-year-old man who was last seen in Tomah and may be hitchhiking. Officials say Michael Bates was at the Tomah VA campus where he lives, but hasn't been seen since 11 yesterday morning. According to the alert, Bates has memory impairment. He might be found at a nearby casino or attempting to reach the Pine Hollow Cemetery near Cashton. A green alert, which is issued for a missing and at-risk veteran, has also been issued for Bates. Officials say he is a white male, about 5 feet 7 inches tall, and weighs 225 pounds. A teenager whose case was documented in the Netflix series Making a Murderer wants the Supreme Court to hear his case. Brendan Dassey confessed to joining his uncle in raping and murdering Teresa Halbach, but his attorneys say the Wisconsin teen was pressured into a false confession, and that video of the interrogation should never have been used to convict him. The Supreme Court is scheduled to consider taking his case at a closed-door meeting tomorrow. If they won't hear the case, that news could come as early as Monday. If the court does agree to hear the case, arguments would be in the fall. Dassey's lawyers want his confession thrown out and for him to get a new trial. New numbers out today are revealing more about the popularity of candidates running for statewide offices in Wisconsin. A majority of voters don't know much about the Democrats running for governor or the Republicans running for U.S. Senate. Our Rose Schmidt is in the news center to tell us who's taking the lead. Rose?
Mark and Susan, this poll comes ahead of the August primary election, which is fast approaching. 800 registered voters were surveyed last week. The poll shows the 10 Democrats running for governor still are not well known. It looks like State Superintendent Tony Evers is the most well known out of all of them, but a majority said they didn't even know much about Evers. Among those who say they will vote in the Democratic primary, 25% would vote for Evers, with every other candidate in the single digits. Former State Democratic Party Chairman Matt Flynn, activist Mike McCabe, and Madison Mayor Paul Soglin are next up behind Evers, but 34% said they don't know which they would vote for.
And we don't see any evidence of any one candidate breaking out of that field. Evers had a significant lead in March as well. It's a little bit higher now, but the rest of the field is still quite flat and pretty evenly distributed across the candidates.
And for those who plan to vote in the Republican Senate primary, Kevin Nicholson has a slight lead over Leah Vukmir, but almost a third don't know who they'll vote for in that race. But neither Nicholson nor Vukmir are well known to voters. The Republican chosen in the August primary will take on U.S. Senator Tammy Baldwin in November.
All right, thanks for the numbers. Rose Schmidt live in the newsroom. Thank you. As
construction crews tear down the walls of the former General Motors assembly plant in Janesville, the city announced it received a $500,000 state grant to help offset the cost of demolition. The Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation said it would provide the funds to tear down 6 buildings, including the 3.9 million square foot main plant. Demolition of the nearly century-old plant started in May and is expected to be finished in June of 2020. Redevelopment of the site afterward is expected to take several years. Still to come tonight on News 3 at 5, preparations are underway for one of the state's biggest fireworks shows. We'll have the details.
Plus, how a national nonprofit organization is giving back to the American Family Children's Hospital. On Wall Street today, the Dow down 42 points. The NASDAQ, however, closed at a record high, up 54 points. The S&P 500 up almost 5. We'll be right back.
Preparations for one of Madison's most popular summertime events is underway.
For the 4th year, Shake the Lake will take place in downtown Madison. The free event will feature live music, food, family activities between Broome and Blair Streets. It'll start at 5 on Saturday and feature 2 stages of music. The Festival of Food's fireworks, launching from 6 barges on Lake Monona, begins at 10 p.m.
There's a lot of city support that really makes this event go and makes it a great event. So yeah, it's become a staple of the summer in Madison. It's a major event downtown. It's been a lot of fun, and we're looking to do another great event this Saturday.
Also a note for boaters on Lake Monona, there will be a 24-hour slow no wake on the lake starting at 12 a.m. Saturday morning. They also have a guy shot out of a cannon.
Right.
That's what that video is.
We just saw that. That's so cool. American Family Children's Hospital is hoping a new donation will put doctors one step closer to ending childhood cancer. The nonprofit Hyundai Hope on Wheels presented the hospital with a $100,000 check today. Children who have been patients at the hospital dipped their hands in paint and then placed them on a 2018 Hyundai Santa Fe. American Family Children's Hospital's Pediatric Oncology Department is one of 21 nationwide getting one of these awards.
Hundreds of musicians will be in town starting tomorrow for the Make Music Madison Festival. The event is in its 6th year. The cost of bringing more than 400 concerts to over 100 venues across Madison tomorrow is roughly $45,000. Organizers say it takes a small army of volunteers to pull Make Music Madison off, and on such a limited budget, but they also want the community to know this day isn't just about music, but bringing everyone together, the people that live and work here as well.
They love music, so we want to kind of bring our taste of music to the community and share with them the variety of things that we do, from our youth programs like the Black Star Drumline up into our more professional style drum and bugle corps with the Madison Scouts, and really invite the community to come be a part of this family.
And besides Breed Stevens, there's 100 other venues with other music all across the city happening tomorrow. We'll have more information on the locations and times of other performances on channel3000.com.
It is going to be a fun summer, and summer starts tomorrow.
Yes, it does.
Karin Swanson is out on the weather patio. Hi, Karin.
Hi there. Yeah, the official start to summer, but it may not quite feel like it with some cooler temperatures around tomorrow, as well as some continued rain chances. And we've had a lot of rain recently, and it looks like those chances will be continuing tonight through the next couple of days. You can see some of that rain on the radar map late this afternoon, early this evening. A line of showers and thunderstorms making its way through Iowa, just kind of rotating right around an area of low pressure that's going to slowly slide to the east as we head through the next 48 hours. So we'll have to contend with some shower and thunderstorm chances tonight as well as for the next couple of days. There is that tornado watch not too far to our southwest across parts of Iowa, just to the southwest of Dubuque until 7 o'clock. There was a severe thunderstorm warning within that line of storms, but that has now been allowed to expire. But we'll have to continue to watch that line as it makes its way towards southern Wisconsin. It has shown some signs of weakening, but we are still looking at that chance of showers and thunderstorms here. In fact, this is our future Doppler track over the next 3 hours, showing some of those rains getting into southwest Wisconsin, entering Grant County into Lafayette and Iowa counties over the 6 to 8 o'clock hours. So watch for some of those showers and thunderstorms this evening. So far today, our 12-hour precipitation estimates show that most of the rain has remained pretty light. There has been a band of perhaps up to about 1/4 of an inch of rain for some of our northern viewers, but not everyone has seen that rain. We have had 0.07 inches of rain officially here in Madison today, and that adds our number now up to 4.77 inches for the month as a whole. So we're averaging higher than what is our normal for the entire month of June right now. Temperatures today have made their way into the 70s. So far 72 degrees here in Madison, and that's after a low of 62. Normals for today are 79 degrees and 58. Right now in Madison it's 72. Winds are out of the east at 9 miles per hour. We've got a lot of 70s on the map. 73 right now in Janesville, 70 degrees in Wisconsin Dells. Dew points are still making it feel a bit sticky, but perhaps not quite as oppressive as what we felt just a couple of days ago. Across the rest of the region, we're seeing seeing overall uniform temperatures, some 70s and 80s with some of those cooler spots in the areas that are seeing the rain right now. There's that stationary boundary I was talking about. That low pressure system heads slowly to the east, and that keeps that wet weather chance around the area as we head through tomorrow as well as into Friday. Eventually, high pressure starts to move in for the weekend, and that should dry us out somewhat. Just some small chances of seeing a shower or a thunderstorm this weekend. 59 tonight with scattered showers and some thunderstorms as well. Breezy tomorrow, more showers, a few isolated thunderstorms, highs up near 70 degrees. Here's how that future track forecast looks. Some showers and thunderstorms shifting through southern Wisconsin through tonight as well as into tomorrow. You'll want to keep that umbrella handy through tomorrow as well as that raincoat. Keeping those rain chances around tomorrow night, and then we keep those into Friday as well. As far as precipitation potential, it looks like the heaviest totals will be in southwest Wisconsin, where some areas could see another 1 to perhaps 2 inches of rain as some of those storms make their way through that part of the state. So we'll keep the wet weather around through Friday along with those cool temperatures, but then we start to warm it up over the weekend. There is a slight chance of a thunderstorm this weekend. It looks like right now the slightly better chance will be on Sunday, then looking dry for Monday with some showers and thunderstorms returning from later Tuesday into Wednesday. Now your first alert traffic, and we have been seeing some slowdowns on the Beltline, although this view from our Department of Transportation camera at the Beltline at Stoughton Road is looking pretty good. Some good traffic flow right in that area, even though we have been reporting an accident right at the eastbound Beltline and Stoughton Road. But a little farther to the west is where we are seeing those backups anywhere from around 15 to about 30 miles per hour, both in that eastbound and in the westbound direction right now. So eastbound Verona Road over toward John Nolan Drive, your average speed is about 27 miles per hour. Back in the westbound direction, that same spot seeing some of those slowdowns, generally around 24 miles per hour.
All right, Karen, keep an eye on those storms for us.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Karen. Ahead on News 3 at 5, more Americans are getting sick from contaminated food. We'll tell you how you can keep your meals safe when we come back.
When the
Well, several recent outbreaks related to contaminated food have affected dozens of people across the country.
Health officials say technology and consumers are helping contain those infections. Nikki Batiste has more on how to protect your family.
New numbers from the CDC show 10 more cases of salmonella infections linked to pre-cut melon. 70 people in 7 states have now become sick. Kaido Foods recalled the fresh-cut melon products earlier this month.
People that are infected with salmonella will have diarrhea, fever, and stomach cramps about 12 to 72 hours after they've eaten a contaminated food. You know, most people recover in about 4 to 7 days. Other people do have a more severe illness and do require hospitalization.
Last week, another salmonella outbreak was announced, this one linked to Kellogg's Honey Smack cereal. The CDC says new technology is helping them better detect these outbreaks and stop them.
When people get infected with bacteria, we're able to use this new technology to get a DNA fingerprint. And when people have the same DNA fingerprint, we're more confident that these illnesses are related to a common food.
While these recalls can be scary, there are things you can do to prevent foodborne illnesses at home. That includes looking out for the recalls and tossing contaminated products.
Also, you know, people can help us solve outbreaks. You know, if you get food poisoning, go see your doctor, report your illness to a health department.
The CDC also reminds everyone to follow safe food practices, washing hands and surfaces often, cooking foods to the right temperature, and refrigerating them promptly. Nikki Batiste, CBS News, New York.
And we'll be right back with a final check of the weather.
Karen's keeping track of some strong storms in Iowa.
Yep, there's some storms across eastern Iowa right now. That's where the tornado watch is in effect. Also a tornado warning down toward Davenport. But notice the stronger storms are heading in a more easterly direction. Those are going to be headed over toward Illinois. Still a chance that we could have a stronger storm sneak here into southern Wisconsin as well. Here's our future radar over the next 3 hours, showing some of that wet weather making its way across southwest Wisconsin through 8 o'clock this evening. We'll have more wet weather tomorrow and Friday, then drying out just a bit for the weekend.
All right, thank you, Karen. This CBS Evening News is coming up next. See you back here at 6.